We just popped into Pelican Bay town. It wasn't a big event. It was just to get some groceries, but there's some pretty serious wave action in our anchorage.
Surf's up in the anchorage. I like we should record some of this footage for next time they're making some movie in like Antarctica or something, and they need that whistling, eerie wind effect.
Welcome to Free Range Sailing.
Join us as we sail around Australia, visiting its wild places in our 30-foot, 50-year-old sailing boat, Marul.
Living off the land and sea while sailing a yacht that costs less than a new car.
We show that it's possible to have big adventures with a seaworthy boat on a very modest budget.
Time to make some power,
Oh yeah.
because we got to put the solar panels down because they were making the boat sail.
Actually, when they're down like this, they actually make the boat sail a bit. But that's something to consider. I think when this boat was first designed and they had the original lines, it had a lot less windage. But as soon as you start putting lee cloths, solar panels, arches, dodges, and things like that, it definitely adds to the windage of it. So now sort of Marul's surfing a little bit with the wind, but the tide's pushing it this way, so every now and then she'll sort of cross up, and then at some stage of the tide, the forces will balance, will be held side on into this, and it'll just be rubbish for about 40 minutes, I reckon. But that's, like you say, Pasky, it's impressive. Like, the land is just there.
Yeah.
So in this short distance, this is the fetch we've got, and these are the waves we've got. Can you imagine a cyclone? You think, oh, I'll just go and anchor in a sort of a broad river, land's just there, it'll be fine.
No.
No, it won't.
Oh God, be careful, Dal. We're sailing. Oh, is that our chain? Yeehaw!
Someone tried to take a shortcut across the sandbank. Oh yes. Power to the porter boat. We're just drifting over the bank. Yee. There's the marker. Ignore. So we're going ashore to the Barnacles Dolphin Centre to check out the humpback dolphins. And we're over the sandbank. Beautiful morning in Pelican Bay. How's the serenity?
Oh. Look there!
Where?
Back there! Look at this stingray.
Also, I think when you listen to things, it's not even deep, like you don't, nothing makes you happy. It's like you don't say amazing. You know what I mean? You just,
We're here at the Barnacles Dolphin Centre in Pelican Bay, and we're looking at the Australian humpback dolphins. They're an estuarine dolphin, and they're actually unique to the waters of Australia and Papua New Guinea. They hang out in river systems, they don't really go out into the open ocean, and they're an endangered species, so this is a really special thing. The dolphins have a habitual thing of coming in the morning and just getting a snack at this centre, and then they go off in the wild and hunt for themselves. So it's a really special, they're quite shy. We've seen them around the boat, but they don't come up to the boat, and they're not like bottlenose dolphins. They don't play in the bow, and they're not as active, so it's really nice to see them up close here today.
You guys are so good at this.
School holidays at the moment, so it's pretty busy down here at the centre, and it's feeding time. The dolphins get fed every day at 8 o'clock, so I'm going to get a chance to feed the dolphins soon, but we're going to let the kids go first.
Oh, that would be great. So, hold on tight. Head first, pop it into the water. Once that fish. Thank you.
My mistake.
See all those markings on him? That's from that fighting with other dolphins.
Yeah,
and girls.
So that's the teeth marks?
Yeah. It's called raking, so they go over and they scrape each other.
Oh yeah, I can see why it's called raking.
So those
Being
are all
raked up.
teeth marks from other dolphins.
That pie on your phone. One hole.
After visiting the dolphins, we made our way to Pelican Bay, ready to cross the Wide Bay Bar the following morning and continue our journey southwards.
Buy ourselves a little bit of room there, just stay in the middle of the stream. Things have chilled out.
Going to work. You got your business shirt on, your jacket on.
Like Hugo Boss, my life jacket. That's how we roll.
Motor sailing through the bar.
Yeah, mate, just checking in as we hit reference point 3.
Bring me that dimension you run through the bar. Give me a call at reference point 1 when you get through Pelican Bay.
Roll out.
Our plan was to cross the bar and sail from the bottom of Fraser Island all the way down the Queensland coast to Yanba in New South Wales.
I walk down the same I think of all the wasted time for me. 'Cause all the time that I could have been free. 'Cause I leave on today, and don't ask me to stay. I've got a million reasons why, so please don't you cry.
It was a fairly uneventful crossing, however the sea state was definitely a lot sloppier than when we exited the bar in March. Having our sails up for the entire crossing really assisted in keeping Marul stable and improved her performance through the water. It also provides a backup in case of engine failure.
Marul, Coast Guard, Tincan Bay.
Yeah, mate, alright, we're past reference point 1, we're clear of the bar.
Good luck with sailing and take care, Coast Guard, Tincan Bay.
Good on you, mate, have a good afternoon. We're all going back to Channel 16. It's sort of expected to get, just based on what the weather reports was, there's a high, and we were expecting to get an easterly, and maybe even a northeasterly, but we're going to have to wait. It should come eventually. But at the moment it's blowing like south-southeast, so we're just going to make our easting. We'll go out to a bit deeper water, and we should pick up the East Australian current, and that'll help us go down south a bit faster. But in any case, because we're sailing, we're not just going to motor punch into it. It's just too hard on us, isn't it, Pascal? We don't like it. So we may as well just sail out with the whales. We're going to have a look, and that's it. About 240 miles to Yamba, but yeah, depends on what the weather does. It might be more, it might be less. Well, it's day 2 of our northerlies, and we can't even hold south because the wind is coming from the south-southeast. So I think we've got a long way to go before we can predict the weather. When we looked at the weather and we were making this plan about 3 days ago, I was thinking maybe we'd have some the northerlies would be sort of light by this stage. And then one day before we were leaving, it looked like the northerlies were going to be easterlies, but as it turned out, the easterlies actually turned into south-southeasterlies. So yesterday afternoon we actually got east-southeast, so it still hasn't cracked, hasn't gone round into the north just yet. So early this morning we had absolutely no wind whatsoever, and I sort of expected that, but I was hoping that it would come somewhere close to north. But no, we're still tacking our way down. So if you work in the Bureau of Meteorology, just throw all those computers away, stop modelling on those things, and get some humans back in there. It's just not working.
Northerly? Yep. Whatever.
Here's Pasky, fresh out of bed. How do you feel?
Sleepy.
Well, I'm about to go off watch. I might just go and grab 3 hours sleep.
Yeah, I had a good sleep. I guess the engine running was a bit of white noise. So.
We got to sail into the night, so that was something.
Yeah.
Alright. Let us know if there's any ships.
Roger.
Or anything.
Roger.
Keep us close on the wind so we can clear that headland to our
It doesn't look like we're going to clear it.
to our south-southwest.
I don't think we're going to clear it.
Unreal.
So, are you happy for me to do attack?
Are you happy to do attack?
I think so. It's not like crazy.
Alright. I'm happy for you to do anything you like.
I'm just going to go to bed.
Yep. See ya.
Oh no, wrong shit. That was the wrong rope. I thought I turned the autopilot off too.
It gets easier with practice.
Okay, quick look at the weather. It's still what's happened, that high pressure system, instead of rolling offshore and the winds following it round, it looks like it's pushed a ridge up the coast. And so, you know, it's very, very hard to, where weather systems interact with land and sea boundaries, it's often very hard to predict. You know, and like tongue in cheek, I can sort of, I can give them a hard time, but I guess being a weather forecaster would be a pretty thankless job. No one really thinks much about it when you're right, and they're cussing you when you're wrong, like what I've been doing. But in any case, it looks like the winds are set to just keep bashing us through the night. So I could take the option of staying out all night and doing that, or 18 miles away is the Gold Coast Seaway, so we might just duck in there. I've looked at the tides and we can go in there on a flooding tide, which is important because any of these sort of entrances into rivers or ports, if you've got an ebb tide, it can stand waves up on the entrance and make things a bit dangerous. I haven't been in there before, and we'll be going in there at night time. There is a moon and there is good leading lights, but these conditions shouldn't present any problem for Marul. I'm sure we've done worse all around the coast. So that's the, you've got to stay flexible. That's the updated plan. We'll just head in there. We'll get, we'll let 2 high tides go through, and then we'll scoot back out and we'll keep heading down. And by that time, hopefully the high will have moved off, and those northerlies that we were keeping our fingers crossed for, they'll actually arrive, and then we can actually have a comfortable journey like this, rather than just spray going over the over the dodger and wearing out the poor old boat. Pasky's happy about it anyway, and that's the important thing.
As we got closer to our destination, we were surprised to see plenty of whales hugging the coastline.
He's got both up.
This one got particularly close to Marul and was continuously rolling around on top of the water.
Having a totally fat time out here. Don't come to Queensland if you're scared of whales. That's fully just rolling over.
Thanks for joining us this week. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out. Also, when subscribing to Free Range Sailing, make sure you hit the bell button to stay notified of all our upcoming releases. Join us next week as we depart the Gold Coast and continue our journey southwards, downwind sailing to New South Wales. I think the wind is jacked to like 30 knots. We're fully reefed and we're still going 8 knots downwind, and it was a little bit scary putting the reefs in.